That torque steer sucks. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank, and this is the 2025 Chevrolet Silverado EV RST. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into the review. And now, of course, before we get started in the video, I want to thank Millennium Chevy for lending me this truck. Thank you guys again. If you are interested in this one or any other Chevys, be sure to check out the description in the link below and give them a shout. All right, guys, so this is the 2025 Silverado RST EV. It is a brand new platform for Chevy and the pickup lineup, sharing absolutely nothing with its combustion engine brother. This is a completely new frame, a new body, and everything in between, specially designed and made for the EV Silverado. So before we start on the actual styling and everything like that on this, I want to touch, of course, on the performance. So it is going to come equipped with the dual electronic motors, producing 760 horsepower with 785 pound-feet of torque. It is a one-speed automatic, of course, with the electric all-wheel drive. It has a 205 kilowatt lithium-ion battery with about 450 total miles of range. That is right. This is one of the top range-producing EVs on the market, and it is coming from a pickup truck. Only one coming close to that is going to be the Lucid, which is obviously a four-door sedan. So keep that in mind. And that is about a 30-mile increase from the 2024 model. So again, another very subtle difference between the 2024 to 2025, along with one other major thing. So just keep that in mind. And your 0 to 60 time is going to be about 4.1 seconds with a top speed of about 110 miles an hour. Towing capacity on the 25 is going to be 12,500 pounds, about a 2,500 pound increase from the 2024 models. And your weight is about 8,700 pounds. So it is a very, very heavy truck at the end of the day. And your payload in the back is going to be 1,500 pounds. So with that being said, that's the good on the EV RST, but there are some bads right off the bat before we even jump into any kind of stylings and everything like that. And that is the price. This RST model it is fully loaded, is going to be at $98,000. That is right. It is a very, very pricey pickup truck at the end of the day. So keep that in mind as we progress through this review video. So let's start off on the exterior styling. First of all, the paint color. This is Riptide Blue Metallic, very nice blue metallic color. So starting off on the front end, we have this very large light bar stemming across the entire front of the truck, going into your running day lights on here, turn signals up on the side, and in the center is going to be your black Chevrolet bow tie with an illumination around it as well. That's pretty standard. I've seen that on other regular engine, combustion engine Silverados as well. So you can see that when it is completely lit up, has a little bit of an animation, and then it comes folding out. Very nice. The turn signals on here as well are going to be sequential. Again, it is a almost $100,000 truck, so small things like that I would kind of expect to have a little bit more of a luxurious touch to it. On the side on here too, in the little side markers, you can actually see a small Chevy bow tie logo in there too. Cool little touch. Now, moving just below that light bar, you have the RST badge in the front area, if you will. We'll go over that shortly. On the left and right side, you can see in here, we have more lights on there and some actual cutouts in here and on the lower portion as well, giving it a little bit more of an aggressive look, also helping out the aerodynamics, which in turn will help with the fuel, or in this case, kilowatt efficiency, if you will, the battery efficiency and your range. So small little subtle things like that the Chevy design team did do in order to maximize the efficiency of this battery pack in here. Moving lower than that, you can see this extremely large front grille design on here, finished in gloss black. Another thing to note, obviously, is underneath the hood in here. So we have the key right here, pretty standard Chevy key, black bow tie on here, and all of your buttons on here. what you can go ahead is double click on the key to unlock the front area, or there's also a button inside next to the steering wheel. Go ahead and give this a click, and then it will raise up for you. Taking a look inside of here, we have ample room in the front area. It's about 11 cubic feet, a little smaller than what I've heard on the Lightning, which is about 14 cubic feet. So a little smaller on that end. It is finished in a hard plastic all throughout here. Here we have a little bit of a cup holder, so you can actually kind of use this as a tailgate area, if you will. And on the right side, more storage and drain plugs right here, along with one other drain plug on the rear end right here. And right here, you can see 120 volt, 20 amp charger. So now going over the side profile of the Silverado, it's a really nice design. It's pretty sleek. I like the way that it looks. Obviously, other people are going to have different opinions. These wheels are absolutely massive. These are 24-inch aluminum wheels. I like the design on them. I like the black face in there too. These tires are going to be 275 by 50s, and again, 24 inches on all four wheels, nothing wider on the rear or anything like that. You're going to have gloss black side mirrors on here. Your Silverado badge is going to be on the side with the electronic E in there, or the blue E in there, signifying it is an electronic vehicle. Your side steps on here too are very large, stemming all the way from the front to the rear, covering everything on there. Now, one thing that I kind of have an issue with is the actual keyless entry in here, because, well, it doesn't have keyless entry. You have the key with you, you put your key in your pocket, walk up to here, and it won't unlock, even with the key in your pocket like other vehicles would. You do actually have to physically tap the button for it to unlock. And then same thing with locking. You can't just put your thumb on here or something like that. It's physically click the button. I know it's a small, very, very small thing, but again, on a truck that costs almost $100,000, I feel like they should at least have integrated keyless entry into here. But you do also have that style of entry on all four door handles, even the rears included, unlike other models where it would only be the front two. Now, continuing back, we have gloss black accents running all throughout, and we have the area right above the pickup bed, which connects into the roof. And honestly, this is where I think they should have changed the name from Silverado EV, and it should have involved something with the Avalanche, which I know everyone else has been saying as well, because, well, it looks like an Avalanche. It has the foldable midgate in here like an Avalanche, which we'll touch shortly, and they kind of missed the mark, and they really should have called it something along the lines of Avalanche again. And now let's talk about the rear end. This is, well, obviously brand new. You have the rear end taillight design on here as well. Again, same thing with, you could see on there, gives you a little bit of a dance as you approach it and when you unlock it, and then it comes back on and will illuminate to show you the whole thing on here. Again, a little bit of a dance. Is it necessary? No, but it's cool. And then on the bottom right and left, like other trucks, you have a side step on here to help you access the back of the bed if you do not want to lower it. So that is pretty cool. The full function multi-flex tailgate is on here too. You have two separate buttons. You have one right here to lower the top half of it, which you can see the cutout in for right here. And the one on the left is going to be your full tailgate lowering option. Go ahead and click this. You will hear it manually unlock. Go ahead and lower that down. Pull this out and fold this up, and if you want to keep items in to ensure it doesn't fall out, you can always do that. But this obviously has another purpose right here, so we'll go ahead, do this, raise this back up, and then lower the entire thing. It's a soft open tailgate on here. But what you can go ahead and do, let's do that. Open that up, hit that one more time on the right side, and now you have a full step to actually get into the back. So with that being said, we are now standing on the tailgate of the Silverado. We have the spray and bed liner in here, standard option that comes with it. On the right side is going to be a couple of more charging ports for you. So you're actually going to have two 120 volt chargers on here, and then to the right of that is actually going to be a 240 volt charger in here. Underneath that is a little tab. Give this a push and it comes down. The little plastic will come off, and you have a little bit of a storage area in here. Keep a couple of more belongings in. You have a light, of course, on the right side. Plenty of cargo tie-down ports in here. And now with that being said, this is all closed up. Again, everything is manual. Nothing's going to be electronic on the rear end tailgate as well. Nothing to help you fold that up. Back left is going to be your actual charging port area. Go ahead and click this open. That's where we will charge. And that really sums up the exterior of the Silverado EV. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead now and jump onto the interior and show you all of the things in there, because, well, there are plenty in there too. And then we're gonna take this on a brief drive and wrap the video up. First things first, when you jump in, there is no start or stop button in here. It is pretty simple. You just hop in with the key in your pocket. It will automatically power on like that. You go ahead and put your foot on the brake. Gear selector switch here to the right, and then you're off. And that would be it. And then you're good to go and drive. All right, so let's talk about the interior for a second. Steering wheel is very nice. You actually have a light in here for your Super Cruise function, which this does have, and it comes with standard full leather steering wheel, red stitching running throughout, and gloss black accents all throughout. That same design pattern follows the entire truck with red accents and gloss black finish. We have the gloss black Chevy bow tie in the center and the RST badge down here. Steering wheel is of course heated, along with the seats as well. You have the digital display in the center area right here, which is going to be 11 inches. The heads up display up here is actually going to be 14 inches big, which you can see just slightly in there. And then you have this extremely large center area, which is going to be 17.7 inches big. Again, really big center screen on here. They are not afraid of their screen, Chevy, and, well, honestly, they do a pretty good job in integrating it into here. I think it looks pretty good. Now, just beyond the screens is where it's a little bit iffy. You have this hard plastic trim all throughout here and all up here. It's a nice design, if you will, but overall the quality feel for the materials on a truck that costs almost $100,000, I would say, is kind of lacking. But again, that would be someone's personal opinion. It is standard for most of the controls in here, as any other Chevy would have. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but they are not wireless, so do keep that in mind. You have different drive modes on here too, so you can go ahead and click those. You have My Modes, you have normal, off-road, tow and haul, and then this logo right down here is actually going to be the quote-unquote wow mode. So we'll go ahead and click that. You will hear that it has a little sound that will chime on to signify that you are in that wow mode. Now, when you do this, the suspension for the Silverado will actually lower a little bit, and it will allow you to essentially use all of the torque when you put your foot down that this thing actually has to offer. So if you want to have the most extreme drive, you can go ahead and put it in that mode. Pretty cool. How often will you use it or really need it? Not too sure, granted that it is a pickup truck. Center area is going to be where your climate controls are. The only things that your climate controls are actually going to control physically here is going to be the fan speed, your defroster and your rear defroster, and the temperature will be right here. But in terms of wanting to actually see where the air comes out of, you have to go into the screen. You can see on the lower portion right here that you can click between defroster, middle, and you're down at your feet. So keep that in mind, that you do have to go into the screen in terms of using some of the climate control options, but not all of them. Just full of that, wireless phone charger, a couple of USB-C ports. You have your two large cup holders in here, more storage in the back, glove box with the red and black accents running throughout, leather finished on top, which feels nice, and an extremely large center console area in here with another charging port and a light down there. Pretty standard pickup truck stuff. Plenty of storage all throughout it. Seats are very nice, finished in black leather. Again, heated and cooled on these with the same red and black stitching running throughout. Same pattern that follows the entire truck throughout here. And that's really it for there. You have two cup holders back here on the center area. Again, very large. And that really brings everything together on the front end of the Silverado EV. Now, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and jump into the rear end because it is very large back there. It's larger than Lightning and larger than actually standard Silverados too. So now entering the rear end on here, you can see this massive area for your rear passengers in here too. You have a ton of legroom back here, and the legroom size is about 44 inches, just so you are aware. It's slightly larger than what your standard Silverado is actually going to come with too. The seats do continue on with the same design. You have the red and black stitching running throughout. All leather on here too, feels very nice. We'll go ahead and hop up here, and as you can feel, or as you can see, I have a ton of legroom in here. I'm about 6'1", and I have plenty of room, as I did in the front too when I was driving it. Now, one thing to note is actually going to be this rear midgate storage area. So what you're going to go ahead is do this, The seats are going to come up. You have storage underneath here. And now it's time to show off a little bit of this mid-gate area. So what you have to do is a series of steps. Of course, the initial seat when you're sitting down folds down first. What you then have to do is go ahead and hit these headrests. Hit the buttons on the side of them right here. They will fold down. You have to do all three of them, of course, depending if you want to do actually this one or all three. In this case, I have it set up to just lower down all three. Then you have a pull tab right here. You will go ahead and pull this while simultaneously pulling this whole portion down slowly. Just make sure that it doesn't fly down because you don't want to break anything. Then right here is going to be a button. You will click the button. You will hear a little bit of a release in there. You have a handle right up here. And then all you do is go ahead and lower this whole entire thing down. You'll see this slide out. And there you go. Access to the tailgate on here, or the truck bed, and then you can see the tailgate all the way down there. So that is how you actually lower down this whole entire portion. So now it is time to drive this thing around a little bit, and we will end the video on that. This also does have a Bose sound system that comes premium with it. Of course, in typical Chevy fashion, you do have the electronic rear view mirror on here too, which you can flip up and down. The flick of the switch right down here. And on top of you is a full panoramic roof, which looks fantastic in here. It does not change. There is no screen that comes over it. It is just a glass screen the entire time. But with that being said, let's drive this thing around a little bit. We'll go ahead and just start right here in the parking lot. This does have plenty of cameras, as you guys can see from the screens. You have cameras on the lower portion right here, which can show your area of approach so that you know where you are pulling into a spot or something like that. You do have another camera on the side, which you can see right here. Now, this does have dual motors, and it has the torque steer. So the problem with that I've heard and that I've experienced also for myself driving the Hummer EV is that the steering wheel will try and pull from you. The truck will try and pull you in a certain direction. Driving this thing around locally, it feels absolutely massive. You'll know that you are in a giant truck just from being inside of here. But yeah, that's really it. It does have regenerative braking on here, so when you let off the gas, you can feel it instantly start to slow itself down. You will see the little battery icon on here too pop up. So it is trying to gain a little bit of battery as you drive around town, but it will be very minimal. So driving normally throughout town, again, besides the feeling of being extremely large, it feels similar to the Hummer EV, honestly. Besides that, it feels like a regular car, or a regular truck in this case. Nothing is too complex about it. It's pretty simple to get the hang of if you don't know EVs. So the wow mode is right here. Again, you get that sound animation on here, and now you have actually a little bit more sound from the truck itself. So when you floor it, when you're just driving around town, it is louder than it was before. So you can actually hear it a little bit right now. You can hear how much louder it is than when it's in its normal mode without the quote-unquote wow. Again, very fast. The torque response on here is instantaneous, but when you floor it, you will feel the steering start to pull you in another direction, so you have to fight the steering wheel as you're doing that. So just keep that in mind. The steering is actually pretty stiff on here too. But the torque is there. I mean, it is very fast. It sounds like a spaceship. You know, how impressive is the torque? It's good. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, comparing it to, say, the Hummer definitely has... The Hummer obviously has just more torque in general. So that's really a throw you in the back of the seat kind of truck. This one does do that, but a little less. That torque steer sucks. That torque steer, man, that torque steer. So when you are in this mode, man, it's pretty fast. It's definitely fast. So when you are in the wow mode, of course, your battery life is going to take a significant hit because it is using more of it, and it is not as fuel efficient, or in this case battery efficient, as it would be in its standard normal mode. Now again, we will hear the difference right now. I'll go ahead and shut off the wow mode, and you can hear how instantly quiet it gets, and now it just sounds like your typical EV again. It's definitely quick still when you're not in wow mode, but it's, you know, again, a little quieter. But the torque is not as punchy when you're in the normal mode. Go ahead and put this back in the wow mode. Yeah, it's fast. I mean, it's fast for a pickup truck. Also, it's a pickup. So this is not a sports car at the end of the day. It's not going to feel like a sports car. It's not going to seem like a sports car. It's a pickup truck. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to haul stuff. It's meant to put stuff in the bed. You're not buying this to buy a sports car. You're buying this to use as a truck. So keep that in mind, that this is not meant to perform like a sports car. It's maybe meant to compete with something like a TRX or something like that, but, and obviously the Lightning, in terms of the power, you know, it has a ridiculous amount of torque and horsepower for a pickup truck, but it's not meant to compete with any sports car. It never will, and it never will feel like that. But yeah, that's really it for the for what this thing kind of has to offer. It's a fun truck. It looks nice. It performs well. The range is honestly ridiculous for what it has. Again, one of the top producing range electric vehicles currently on the market, and it's coming from a pickup truck. Downsides are going to be the price tag, honestly. So it's you know, you guys tell me, do you think that a 750-ish horsepower and pound-feet of torque electric pickup truck is worth almost $100,000, or is it better off just getting a lower tiered EV Silverado and then doing that? So let me know, guys, do you think that this thing is worth almost $100,000? So with that being said, that is going to conclude the end of this video. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when I post next. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video. Take care.